Fox News alert. The second tranche of Epstein documents just dropped, and the primetime team is digging through them like furious truffle pigs. We do see an email between people indicating Bill Clinton personally walked into the offices of Vanity Fair and threatened journalists to spike sex trafficking articles about his, quote, good friend Jeffrey Epstein. Why would he go to bat for Epstein? Not sure. Another email indicates that a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre was trafficked to Prince Andrew and other men, including, quote, two of the world's most respected politicians. The names of the respected politicians are redacted. So go back around 20 years ago and ask yourself, who were two of the world's most popular politicians? Yesterday, we discovered that an Epstein victim told her that Bill Clinton likes his girls young, and that he did indeed fly on Epstein's plane and even his chopper. We learned just how close Stephen Hawking and Epstein really were. We discovered that David Copperfield spent some time at Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach estate. Surprisingly, he was not able to make his name in these documents disappear, though. And we learned that world leaders may currently be under the threat of blackmail. You'd think an international sex trafficking and espionage ring involving the highest levels of politics, finance, celebrity, and royalty would stir slight interest in professional journalists. Not really. This is how they're covering the story.
Former President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump mentioned in deposition transcripts. Both have denied any wrongdoing. In one, a woman who once worked for Epstein recalled he spoke to her about Clinton, saying Epstein told her one time, quote, that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. The same woman says Epstein once suggested calling Trump for an outing in Atlantic City.
The media, a lot of them controlled by big intel, is both siding this scandal. Bill Clinton, who was photographed getting a massage by an Epstein victim, who was lied repeatedly about flying on Epstein's jet, is now involved in a cover-up threatening journalists and reportedly had a romantic relationship with Epstein's madam, Ghislaine Maxwell. That's on par with Epstein going to Trump's casino 30 years ago. And was that Valerie Jarrett's daughter, Laura, fronting that piece? I think that was. Let's get the facts straight here. Here's the lawyer who represents dozens of Epstein's victims.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave.
This is the same lawyer that says Bill Clinton spent a lot of time in Epstein's orbit and refused to help the victims.
He was in Jeffrey Epstein's presence, and even more so in Ghislaine Maxwell's presence, many, many times on numerous occasions, including on occasions when others who were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein were there. He has a lot of information. If we've invited him to speak to us, the fact that he's been less than helpful is troubling to me, who has only been trying to fight for the victims and survivors and get real answers.
Watters World spoke to a source close to Epstein's pilot and said Bill rides on Epstein's jet were kind of kinky. Bill Clinton was on those flights
numerous times, and why these girls were dressed, that he would describe them as candy stripers, and
so you're saying, on the flights that Bill Clinton was on with Jeffrey Epstein, the stewardess or stewardesses, many of them were underage, were dressed as candy stripers.
Correct.
And there were beds in the back of the plane?
Beds, bedroom, yes.
Epstein was trafficking underage girls to politicians, business executives, foreign leaders, even well-known prime ministers. He was obviously an intelligence asset, collaborating with our government. Even Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was reportedly an intel asset, allegedly worked for MI6, the Mossad, even the CIA. It was a match made in heaven, or for some of the victims, hell. Biden's CIA director had 3 meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. So it's no surprise that the FBI is keeping a lid on the surveillance videos from the Epstein properties, and Dick Durbin doesn't want to subpoena any of these flight manifests. The entire op's at risk.